Welcome back to session 2 of our orientation videos for our CT board members. This video session, we are going to cover several items about how we're going to organize our life together this quadrennium. Our mission is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. The second sentence of paragraph 120 includes local churches and extension ministries provide the most significant arena through which disciple making occurs. We will always begin our meetings grounded in who we are and what we're about. Our colleagues over at Archives and History helped us discover where the original Methodist Conference meetings spent their time, their energy, and their resources focusing in on the essentials. So I want to read for you an excerpt from those minutes in 1744. After some time spent in prayer, design of our meetings was proposed, namely to consider what to teach, how to teach, and what to do, i.e., how to regulate our doctrine, discipline, and practice. The connectional table's work will be rooted in these essential questions. What to teach is really the content of who we are and what we're about. What are we teaching as the people called Methodists, as Christians from the Methodist tradition? We will do that at each meeting as we do theological reflection, as we ground ourselves in what we said as Methodists in the past, where we are today, and what our hopes are for the people called United Methodists. How to teach is really about the method of what we do as Christians who are called United Methodists. What is our method for teaching our beliefs, our theology, our ecclesiology? What are the ways in which we pass on the faith that have proven to be effective means for helping people understand what it means to be a Christian in the United Methodist Church? And what to do is really our strategy. How are we strategically planning for sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ in every place and space around the world? That is where we will again spend our time as we come together as the connectional table, grounded, rooted in what to teach, our content, how to teach, our method, and what to do, our strategy.
Hello, I'm Meredith Hoxie-Scholl. I am the Director of Communication and Research. Delighted to serve you, our new Connectional Table Board, this quadrennium. One of the things I'm going to do in this orientation video is to walk through our essential functions, to set up for you the things that we have been tasked to do by the General Conference. These things will guide all of our activities and all of our work together over the next quadrennium. Our first essential function is to provide a forum for understanding and implementation of the vision, mission, and ministries of the global church as determined in consultation with the Council of Bishops and/or the actions of General Conference. We're also asked to enable the flow of information and communication around annual conferences, jurisdictions, central conferences, general agencies, and the Council of Bishops. We're also tasked to coordinate the program life of the church with the mandates of the gospel, the mission of the church, and the needs of the global community. We do this by listening to the expression of needs and addressing emerging issues, and then determining the most effective and cooperative and efficient way to provide optimum stewardship of our resources. We're also asked to review and evaluate the missional effectiveness of general program-related agencies and connectional structures of the church as they seek to aid annual conferences and local churches to fulfill the mission of the United Methodist Church, to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. We're also asked to recommend to General Conference such changes and implementing legislation as may be appropriate to ensure the effectiveness of general agencies. And we're also asked to provide leadership in planning and research, assisting all levels of the church to evaluate needs and plan strategies to carry out the mission of the church. In our final essential function, the connectional table is tasked with the authority and responsibility of the following matters related to finance. First is the collaboration with the General Council on Finance and Administration in the preparation of budgets for apportioned funds. The next is to review with the General Council on Finance and Administration and approve all general agency budget reviews. And finally, the connectional table is to review and approve special offerings and church-wide appeals. As you can see, that is a lot of work that we're tasked to do. There's quite a bit packed into those 7 essential functions. I look forward to our work together over the next 4 years as we connect strategies and build relationships and tell the story of the people called United Methodist across the world.
So how will we accomplish all the work that is before us this quadrennium? Let's turn now to a review of our organizational design that has been approved by the Executive Committee.
All of our work will be grounded in the fundamentals of our Wesleyan faith. What we teach, how we teach, and what we do. You heard Meredith talk about our 7 essential functions, in which we have put into 3 big buckets or 3 fruits of work in order to carry out these functions. CT objective number 1 is really about relationships. How we build and connect relationships based upon the values expressed in paragraph 125 of the Book of Discipline. CT objective number 2 is based upon our strategies, how we coordinate and connect our strategies to focus and steward the resources of our church. This really addresses our essential functions as given to us in paragraph 905.3, point 4, and point 7. And our CT objective number 3 is connecting the United Methodist Church story. How do we connect the story of our United Methodist identity, mission, and vision for our worldwide church? Again, this comes to us from General Conference through our essential functions, numbers 905.1, point 2, and point 5. Our mission is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world, and local churches and extension ministries provide the most significant arenas through which disciple making occurs. This is the full connectional table's work, and these 3 objectives are the objectives in which we hope to actually be able to show fruit for by General Conference 2020. We're going to address this work of nurturing the connection, of showing fruitfulness in the connection, through 2 working groups. Our first working group will attend to our responsibilities for the worldwide nature of our connection. This group is tasked with asking the questions about the future of our worldwide connection. How will we resource mission and ministry in a worldwide connection? What does an agency structure look like in a worldwide church structured differently? And what will help us become a more authentic worldwide connection? 32 of our board members will be in this particular working group. And this working group will have the opportunity to subdivide their work into 3 major advisory groups. Groups in which people from outside of the connectional table can be brought in for their expertise, their knowledge, and their skills and abilities. The first advisory group is specifically out of our task that has come from paragraph 101 in the Book of Discipline. The Standing Committee spent this last quadrennium going over what is adaptable and what is not adaptable. And they left to this particular quadrennium the work of Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is the administrative order of our denomination and includes all of the work of our agencies. This particular advisory group will work closely with the Standing Committee on Central Conference Matters to develop a process for how we should organize Chapter 5 for a worldwide connection. The next advisory group's work is on a General Church Council. This particular advisory group is taking the legislation that the Connectional Table submitted to General Conference, refining, reformatting, and reconstructing the Connectional Table ourselves. As you also know, Plan UMC from last quadrennium had some ideas about how the Connectional Table should be reformed as well. The Legislative Committee and General Conference, in their wisdom, referred these matters back to the Connectional Table so that it might be in line with how we reform our work and our responsibilities for the future of a worldwide connection. And the last advisory group will continue to relate to what we do with a structure for the U.S. Church. This question remains unanswered as we continue to state that central conferences can adapt, but the U.S., all matters for the U.S. have to come to the full General Conference. We have heard in many places and spaces how this has not been effective nor authentic to a worldwide connection. Therefore, this particular advisory group will continue to search for what kind of structure is necessary for the U.S. to attend to U.S.-only matters. The second working group, which will have the other half of our Connectional Table members, is focused in on our work of increasing vital congregations through the work of the 4 areas of focus. This particular working group will continue to attend to paragraphs 120 through 122, and they are tasked with asking the questions about how we are currently fulfilling our missional mandates. What is our denominational strategic plan? How are we fulfilling our mission? And are we using our resources in the best ways for greatest missional impact? This working group also has the opportunity to break out into 3 advisory groups. The first advisory group will continue to look at macro trends across our connection. What are the macro and micro missional trends that are affecting how we carry out our mission? They will continue to look at research, look at what is happening in our annual conferences, and begin to continue to discern how we take this data and this information to make better decisions across our connection. The next advisory group will build upon the connectional assessment tool that was started last quadrennium. Our evaluation and accountability group did a lot of work at listening to our members, our leaders across the whole connection, and determining what really needed to be assessed as we look at evaluation. This particular advisory group will build upon that work and will take the connectional assessment tool to the next level. This assessment work is really looking at the breadth of the connection, not just looking at one particular part of our connection, but looking at the many parts that make up our connection as we assess how we are doing in creating vital congregations through the 4 areas of focus. And our final advisory group attends to our responsibilities around agency evaluations. This particular advisory group will go deeper in how we assess our agencies and their contributions to the full mission and ministry of our church. I want to be sure to emphasize that these evaluations are really done around three principal concepts, values that we hold as a connectional table as to why we've been tasked with the responsibility of evaluating for missional effectiveness. First of all, we look and evaluate in order to continuously improve our processes and our work towards the mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ. Our second value for evaluating is to build capacity. We recognize that we have varying capacities for carrying out the mission. So how do we structure, organize, and strategically plan to build capacity in and amongst our agencies for carrying out the tasks that General Conference has given them over this next quadrennium? And the third reason we do evaluation is to tell the United Methodist story. Our agencies are a fundamental part of helping us live out our United Methodist mission and ministry. And therefore, we gather the information from our agencies in order to better tell our United Methodist story and uplift what we do when we are working together to fulfill the mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ. As a full connectional table, we will constantly listen and learn about what we're doing in communication, research, and finance. These are three elements that affect both working groups, but are essential for the full connectional table to really understand. These three areas are also done in collaborative partnerships with key parts of our connection. In our work with communication, this is a particular partnership with United Methodist Communications. They are tasked with helping us communicate the big story to our members and to the church, to the people beyond the United Methodist Church. As you heard me speak about missional trends, research is critical to our work. Data and data gathering is critical to our work. Connectional Table is tasked with the responsibility of coordinating research and leading in research. The information is coordinated and compiled through the CT staff, directed by the working groups, and this information will go back to the working groups as determined by the full connectional table. The third area that is critical to our missional effectiveness is stewardship of our financial resources. As you saw in our operations manual, we have an agreement with General Counsel on Finance and Administration that delineates our roles and responsibilities to stewarding the resources in the best possible ways for our missional effectiveness through the United Methodist Connection. This is the full connectional table's work. Of course, our internal work will be carried out through the guidance of our executive committee, our leadership, discernment, and community life, and our internal finance and evaluation. Our leadership, discernment, and community life will serve as our personnel committee, but also have the responsibility of helping build community life amongst our board. And our internal finance and evaluation will review our internal budget and operations. They will also evaluate the work of the board collectively. This is our organizational design for this quadrennium, and we hope that it will help us really carry out our essential functions as we work hard to meet those three objectives. The connectional table's job is really about nurturing the connection. And so as you see here in this image, it is organic. And when we are doing our job and doing it well, then the whole connection will bear more fruit in carrying out our mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. I hope that was helpful as you heard from Meredith about our essential functions and as I went back over our organizational design for this quadrennium. We really are looking forward to seeing you in a few short weeks, and if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to contact us at the Connectional Table office. I look forward to seeing you in the next orientation video.